Welcome back. Now, Adulting is a South African TV drama series that follows the lives of four male friends on their journey to find love and success. Their strong bond has held them together even as their journeys take them in different directions. Now, Adulting premiered on the 20th of March on Showmax. For more on this, we are now joined by actress Londeka Sishi. Londeka, thank you so much for joining us this evening. You look absolutely stunning.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. You look gorgeous as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Londeka, Adulting has been on our screens since the 20th of March. How have audiences reacted to the series?
I think that's the one question that always just messes me up, because the reception has been absolutely heartwarming. It's been overwhelming, especially because there was quite a few of us that were new to the space, and just the reception, how people have welcomed us and just showing us so much of love. It's been absolutely amazing.
Now, the series, I mean, like you said, you're absolutely still new on our small screens, and the series focuses on adulting and of young people still trying to navigate their way through life. You play the character of Nkanyezi. How is that character similar to you trying to navigate between the life of adulting?
I actually got to realize, as I got to know Nkanyezi more and more, that we share quite a few similarities.
Okay.
I think Nkanyezi is she's got a good head over her shoulders. She's a lady who knows what she wants. She's very clear on her plans and the people that she wants to keep around her that are not going to be a distraction towards working towards her goals. I think she can be a bit misunderstood. Okay. She's very loving, but at the same time, she's very guarded, because I think life has kind of dealt her certain cards, and she knows that, I mean, you can't always rely on maybe people, so she tries to be very much present in what she can control. So, yeah, I think we share quite a few similarities. Nkanyezi doesn't date. All right?
Yes, she doesn't date.
She does not date. Not because she doesn't want to, again, but like I said, she's very clear on what she wants, and she wants people who are just as clear around her. So, yeah, I think those are some of the similarities
between yourself and Nkanyezi. I mean, you speak of how when you recognized a little bit of yourself in this character, and we know that for many South Africans, when we watch telenovelas, series, dramas, it's an escape for many of us. But how important is it that even through that escape, that the stories of South Africans are told, especially where South Africans can also still relate with what is being depicted?
Sure. I'll start with saying, in as much as it is an escape, I think personally I've grown so much as a person through Nkanyezi, because she's kind of highlighted some of the things that I think I was very insecure about, some lies that I even started to believe about myself. Just kind of getting to know her and getting close to her and allowing her into, I guess, each other's spaces. I've grown a lot. I think it's very, very important that our stories are told, because, I mean, apart from it being our reality that we are navigating through every day, it is something that I think a lot of people just kind of, when somebody tells their story, it's easier for you to kind of relate to that and possibly start seeing some things in your life that you can start changing, or things that you can be like, oh, okay, I recognize that sort of behavioral pattern, and you can start making the changes that you need to.
Speaking about changes, you made a huge career change. I mean, being new on the small screen, you worked in a corporate job.
Yes.
You were a project manager. Just talk to us about that transition, because, I mean, that's a transition for many young people from one career into another, and it sometimes is a bit daunting, especially when you have sort of cemented yourself in one career space and then now you're moving into the next one.
Absolutely. I think, firstly for me, I believe in something called the breadcrumb theory. Okay. And I came across this from one of the ladies that I really, really love. Her name is Nomdeni. She was talking about how life makes sense in retrospect when you start looking at life backwards. And when I look at the journey to being where I am now, it does kind of make sense. There are so many important lessons that I think I learned in the corporate space that I've been seeing. I'm like, oh, okay, I get why God wanted me to start there first before coming in here. And I was also in the mental health space, which I think played a very big role in sort of assisting me with the transition. I was able to quickly identify that the differences in the two spaces, and also just taking time. I really took time to kind of soak in what was happening, and yeah, just kind of come back to reality and like, okay, no, I'm not in the boardroom anymore. I'm not presenting.
Yes.
But I'm still sort of, yeah.
So you've left that completely?
I have left. I don't want to say completely, because it is something I'm very passionate about. Mental health is something I'm very, very passionate about. So whenever there are projects that Cloud Therapist is up to, I'm always available. I'm always there to help. Yeah, it's something I'm very, very passionate about.
Speaking of mental health, I mean,
yes.
With the show itself, the series depicts a lot of flashiness, a lot of clubbing, alcohol, money. We see a few X-rated scenes of which you also are a part of.
Yeah.
What would you say to critics who say that that sort of depiction of what black success is sort of gives a warped sense of reality, especially for young people, and that it sort of derails them and could lead to mental depression and mental illnesses?
Look, I think mental health is one of the most underrated topics. And it's unfortunate because it's such a huge part of our reality. I think a lot of people struggle with something I call disassociation, where it's basically a disconnect between reality and your emotions. So I think I think the reality of adulting is that it does depict what is actually happening in society, especially in the youth right now. And I think what I've loved the most about it is that it's initiated conversation. So people are now starting to talk about these things, which is the first step. Yes. Towards solving any problem, recognizing that, okay, there are maybe some issues, but where do they come from? Why is it that, for an example, when somebody is introduced to like new money, as we call it, they want to make sure that everybody sees you splurge. Where does that come from? So I think it's been really, really beautiful in the sense that we've started to engage in topics that would normally be a bit uncomfortable. And we're unpacking, which is a really, really good start. I think that's one of my favorite things about it so far. Yeah.
And of course, one of the uncomfortable topics that comes from the series is that of the sex scenes that are seen throughout. Do you think that the conversations around that are being placed correctly in terms of what you were trying to attain with the series?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think I would just like to also commend Chedza Pictures and Showmax. I think the way that they took care of us and everyone on set was something to marvel at. We were really taken care of. We had an intimacy coordinator. We were constantly checked in. Are you okay? Is everything all right? And that kind of allowed us to kind of ease into those roles respectively. Again, adulting is all about depicting what is happening in real life. And I think if we're going to have conversations about the difficulties of adulting, let's speak about it holistically. What are some of these intimate relationships that we get into, and what is it that we look for in these relationships, and how do we navigate these relationships? I think personally, I applaud how it's done, and surprisingly, I haven't come across any negative comments around that, which was something that we kind of anticipated. Yeah. But I think the way people have received it is exactly how it was intended to be put out. Yeah.
Lastly, any news that you can give us in terms of your future, Londeka? I mean, now you've ventured into the acting space. What can we expect from you?
There's a couple of projects that I've worked on since adulting and that I am working on currently. Some of them I can't speak about yet because they're not out. Right. But yeah, there was 365 on One Magic, where I played the character of Lumkankosi. I think that's something nice to check out. Yeah, and there's quite a few things that are coming out that I'm really, really excited for people to see. Yeah.
All right. Now, we're quite excited on your behalf. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
And a great start to a beautiful acting career, and we wish you all the best.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. That was actress Londeka Sishi talking to us about Adulting, a TV series that started on the 20th of March, depicting the lives of young people and how they navigate adulting. We'll see you right after this.